Good evening, folks, and a very warm welcome to you, and thank you for joining us on DinamoTV. It's episode 21. Can you believe it? Episode 21, and we've hit winter. We haven't even we've gone past the halfway mark of the NPL season. There's still a lot more football on and off the field to come this year. My name is Tonchi Prusats. I'm your host for tonight, and we've got another big show for you lined up tonight. We've got the usual news desk with all that is happening at Churchill Reserve, and boy, is there a lot happening. Then we look ahead to this weekend when, the junior boys in the NPL competition, they'll be playing back-to-back games on Saturday and on Sunday, so a massive weekend coming up for them and their parents. A big cheerio to all the parents of all the kids, not just the junior boys NPL teams, but the Marley Plavi, the juniors, everyone, absolutely everyone at Dinamo, because this is a big weekend coming up, that's for sure. We've also got the big Croatian derby in the men's NPL competition. We'll talk a little bit more about that a bit later on. And speaking of which, our big guest tonight, we're bringing him on after 4 weeks at the helm of the senior men's team. That's right, our senior head coach, Cameron Watson. He'll be talking to us about his first month at Dinamo, and he'll be talking to us about the big game coming up on Sunday. It's a must-win game. Everything seems to be doing so very well at the club, off the field. We just need the senior men to start winning games and getting some points and getting away from that dreaded relegation zone. Yes, we've got heaps tonight, folks, so be sure to stay with us for the next 60 or so minutes. It's going to be a big show. Don't go away. We're going to have a little bit of a commercial break and then back with the news desk.
The I&D Group is regarded as one of the largest deliverers of concrete structure solutions in Victoria. Formed in 1994 by Ivan and Kathy Filipovic, their passion and commitment to getting the job done safely and economically has underpinned their success in the industry. I&D partners with large-scale building and construction companies in both the private and public sectors on projects large and small. With our corporate headquarters based in South Melbourne and storage yard based in the southeast suburbs, we have at our disposal thousands of square metres of quality materials, along with state-of-the-art lifting and crane equipment, enabling us to deliver the largest projects. We are committed to delivering high-quality projects by partnering with our clients and collaborating with project suppliers to ensure each job is delivered to exceed expectations. From humble beginnings, I&D now employs more than 1,200 dedicated professional and support staff, involved in a number of landmark projects right across Victoria. The I&D Group is a massive supporter of the Croatian community, backed soccer clubs in Victoria, and is proud to be the major sponsor of the St. Albans Dinamo Football Club in 2024.
Welcome back to DinamoTV. It is time for the news desk indeed. Let's first of all start with what's happening, social functions at the club coming up. The big one is the Ain't No Party Like a Dinamo Party. We're talking about Light Up Our Scoreboard Zabava. You're certainly going to want to leave the kids at home for this one. This is going to be an important fundraiser. We ask you to join us for a night dedicated to raising funds for an electronic scoreboard on pitch one. The tickets are $100 and they include a 3-course meal. Entertainment will be provided by Major Minor, and all of your support will really enhance the game day experience for both players and fans at Churchill Reserve. For bookings, text Anna on 0401 505 100 0401 505 100. All right, let's look at last week's game. Well, it was a game to forget, I guess. The big Croatian derby against Dandenong City Hajduk over at Frank Holohan Reserve. Let's take a look at some of the highlights, and then after that, we'll hear from the coach Cam Watson, who was speaking to our very own Ian Burke post-match.
It'll be the hosts, Dandenong City, who will start the game as we tick a minute past 5 p.m. local time. And with the final checks complete, we can indeed get underway. My name is Oscar Rutherford. Thank you for your company for this session for St Albans. That pass, though, is risky. Tim Atharinos goes for goal and punishes St Albans. Tim Atharinos read it quicker than anyone else, and it was a clinical finish as well. Curling past the goalkeeper and into the bottom corner. And Dandenong City have themselves a lead at Frank Holohan Soccer Complex. So it's a Stefan Bresovic long ball forward. Flick on header finds its way to Lambatarides with the snapshot strike into the far corner. It's unstoppable. He hit it so cleanly. And just a minute after their first, Dandenong City double their lead. They've struck twice in quick succession and all of a sudden have this game right where they wanted. A brilliant finish from George Lambatarides. Got past Fowler. Still to Shongo, out to the left-hand side. And chance for the shot to get away from Jerez. Giannakopoulos was back there supporting the defence. Now the cross is sent in once more. This one found the head of Divin. Lacked the power with the attempt. Bauer inside, Giannakopoulos. Pass. Not quite where he was hoping it would end up. And that creates another counter-attacking chance for St Albans. Divin goes direct, and that drew a better save from Hall. Points behind Port Melbourne. 8 behind Hume City, albeit Hume still to play later tonight. It's very much still in the finals race. The long-range shot comes in, but it's well overhit by Cabrera. Will that be the final attempt on goal in this Saturday night contest? Indeed it will. That's full time. Dandenong City claim back-to-back wins. It's a 9th straight league defeat.
Here I am with Cam Watson, senior coach. Cam, disappointing result today at Dandenong City. Yeah, it was. I guess a game that we we probably wanted to get something out of, to be honest. And again, obviously a bit of a derby. Obviously the two clubs are very close, so. And just the position we're in, we were getting to looking for something positive, but you know, it wasn't to be. I think we had some good moments. We probably lacked a little bit, probably up front on the day, and you know, credit to them, they probably scored. Well, they took their chances off our mistakes and 2 good goals.
And conceding 2 goals so close together obviously hurts.
Yeah, it did. It was, because it was quite even up until I think the 30th minute, and then they got their first one, and then to concede the second one was probably a little bit more concerning, just because it was in such a short space of time. But we've got to bounce back, and we've got Knights this week at home. Obviously another big derby, so we've got to just look forward and put that behind us, and yeah, look for another 3 points.
Yeah, so looking forward to a big crowd on Sunday.
Hopefully, yeah. Everyone's. I'm thinking everyone should be here supporting us. And everyone in the West, considering the 2 clubs are so close together. So, yeah. We need our support. They're a good support group for our boys, and obviously the club's got a close tie with them, and I think the players do as well, especially the ones that have been here for a long time. So if we can get bigger numbers than normal, I think that can always help us get over the line. And again, what we need is a big game and 3 points for us.
Well, good luck for Sunday.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a big game that we'll be hearing a little bit later on from Cameron Watson in an extensive interview ahead of a Sunday night's game. And there are all the details on the screen. Dinamo hosting the Melbourne Knights this Sunday, 9th of June at Churchill Reserve. The kickoff times are seniors 3 p.m. and the under-23s at 12:30 p.m. And the special guests, Croatian folkloric group Hrvatska Zora, Croatian Dawn, will be performing inside the club rooms at 2:30. Now, speaking of the under-23s, they suffered a 3-0 defeat at the hands of Dandenong City, and that puts them in second last position, whereas our seniors are in last position. Not a pretty. They're definitely not a pretty position to be in, that's for sure. And we're hoping that certainly things will change, and they have to change coming up this weekend, that's for sure. Alrighty, let's turn our attention now to the women's side of things. Women took on Altona City last weekend, and they are looking good, still remaining undefeated. The women managed to do very, very well for against Altona City, 3-0 win, and we've got some highlights from that game coming up now.
Come on, King. Watch it. That's it. Kick. Good girl.
Tommy, awesome win, 3-0 against Altona City, and convincingly, which is really pleasing, with 3 different goal scorers tonight as well. So, well done. And just your thoughts on tonight's game.
Yeah, look, it was really tough tonight. We knew Altona was going to be a really tough side, and they proved that. But I said to the girls, obviously before the game, we just got to keep doing what we're doing, what we have been doing since the start of the season, and week to week they're getting better, they're getting stronger. The belief's there within the girls, which is great to see. But yeah, like you said, obviously three different goal scorers, and yeah, look, you can't ask for more really. Keeping a clean sheet is always a big bonus. So I think we're on the right path. We're heading in the right direction, and hopefully we can continue on for next week.
A bit of a change with announcing the player of the week, but yeah, your play of the week this week was?
Yeah, look, it was a little bit of a tough one this week, like it is every week, to be honest. So many girls have got their hand up to receive that award, but obviously got to single someone out. And this week it's Christina Cholina. Thought she had a really solid game, especially in defence, and then when we moved into midfield, she done really well in the midfield, and obviously got on the score sheet too. So she's got a couple of goals under her name now, which is great to see, and she's grown in confidence too. She's come into the squad this year, and I think she's really enjoying it, and she's been a massive bonus for the squad itself for this year.
Awesome. And next week, another tough game, top of the table clash, Westgate. How do you see that?
Yeah, look, it's going to be a tough game. We don't know too much about him. I wanted to go out and see him hopefully this weekend, but not sure if that game's gone ahead. I heard it's been forfeited, so we don't know too much. We know it's going to be tough. They're obviously they've won all their games. They haven't dropped any points. So look, we'll be up for the fight. I mean, at the end of the day, if you want to be the best, you've got to beat the best, so to speak. So if we're good enough, I think we'll get the 3 points. But we just got to keep maintaining the same sort of mentality and the same level that we have been creating since the start of the season.
Hopefully be a big crowd. Well done tonight. Good luck next week.
No worries. Thank you.
And that was Tom Pondelyak, the coach, senior coach of the women's, or head coach of the senior women's team. If we take a look at the ladder there, St Albans Dinamo, 5 wins, 1 draw from their opening 6 games, currently on 16 points, and they are 2 points behind Westgate, who have basically won all of their games. It's going to be a tough one, that's for sure. And as we mentioned, this week from this week on, we're doing something different. We're just announcing the Women's Player of the Week, and congratulations to Christina Cholina for winning last week's award. And there are all the details for this week's game, Friday, 7th of June. That's this Friday, tomorrow, in fact, 8 p.m. kickoff at Churchill Reserve. And the bathrooms have all been renovated. They're all ready to go. And it is going to be Sarma night in the club rooms tomorrow. So perfect winter food, as winter certainly has arrived well and truly here at in Melbourne. Alrighty, we're going to have a very, very short break, and then we're going to return with the rest of the news desk, the Junior Boys NPL, straight after this. All right, welcome back. A bit of jumping there, I suppose. But so we've got the Dinamo boys, Junior Boys NPL to have a look at, and it's going to be a very, very busy week this week, because it means that we will be having 2 games back to back happening. But first of all, let's have a look at the results from last week, and then we'll look at the ladder positions, and then we'll take a look at the fixtures. All right, so first of all, the under-14s, it was a 1-0 loss to the Melbourne Knights. The under-15s, a 4-0 win over Pascoe Vale. Borg, Mikulic, Bosanko and Kozul amongst the goals there. The under-16s, well, they redeemed the clubs after the 1-0 loss in the 14s. They recorded a 2-0 win over the Knights. That's the under-16s. Camilleri and an own goal. And then in the under-18s, Dinamo defeated Hume City 2-0. Nicholas Masiti and Joshua Angelis scoring the goals for the victors. So we've got, after 5 games, we've got Dinamo in the under-14s currently occupying 4th position. In the under-15s, we're in 3rd position. And the under-16s and the under-18s both occupy 3rd position. So we're in the top 3, doing very, very well in all 4 divisions of the Junior Boys NPL. If we have a look at the fixtures now. So first of all, on Saturday, we've got round 6. Dinamo at home against Altona Magic in the under-14s. And in the under-16s, we're also at home to Werribee City. So those games kicking off at 10 and 11:30. Something different, Saturday JB NPL action. In the under-15s, Dinamo travels to Hume City Stadium, and the game against Hume City kicks off at 11:15. And in the under-18s, the boys are down the highway to Geelong, taking on Geelong Soccer Club at Stead Park at 3 p.m. Not much time to relax and recover after that. It's going to be a very quiet Saturday night, I think, for a lot of Dinamo families, because the next day we've got round 7. The under-14s and the under-16s, they'll both be travelling to Epsom Huntley Reserve for games against Bendigo City. The 14s kick off at 10 o'clock. The 16s kick off at 1 o'clock. The under-15s are at home to Geelong Soccer Club. That game at Churchill Reserve kicks off at 11:30. And then the under-18s, they'll be home to Brunswick City, with that game at Churchill Reserve kicking off at 1:15. And that brings us to the end of the news desk. We're going to take a very, very short break. And when we return, we're going to continue with tonight's episode of DinamoTV. Welcome back to DinamoTV, and behind DinamoTV, I may be the face of it, but there's a whole crew that works very, very hard getting everything up and running and making sure that everything is tip-top. A shout-out to some of those people, John Bilosh, the Vice President, who does a lot of work behind the scenes, Christina Barisic, who's involved with the club and the committee, Anthony Conyet, who does a lot on match day, and also to Ian Burke, who's the under-23s assistant coach, and he's the man responsible for getting all the match day interviews. And he caught up with Adam Tenanini Tuna after last week's game, and here's a bit of an extensive interview with Tuna after the Dandenong City game.
Here I am with Adam Tenanini, 23's coach. Disappointing, Adam.
It was very disappointing, Berkey. Look, I think on the day the better team won. We weren't dominated all across the park, but there were certainly moments for long periods of that game where Dandenong were the better side. So I think they deserved the win. Whether it was 3-0, I don't know, but we certainly went into half-time at 0-0 with some promise. I thought they were the better team in the first half, but we also knocked the ball around quite well. So then, we couldn't put 90 minutes together again, which has been down for a lot of times this season, but just keep chipping away at it, I guess.
And I guess the message each week from both of us is always about retaining possession and keeping possession and valuing it. And it just didn't seem to work today, and then we got punished when we did give the ball away.
Yeah. So there were, like I said, there were moments in that game where we did do that, and it's when we went away from that and they got us in the bounce is when obviously they were most dangerous because they're a really speedy side across the park. In those transition moments where we lost the ball is when we got punished. And first goal was fantastic, a great goal, great shot from outside the box. But the second two were really disappointing because we turned over the ball in our front third and they got us on the bounce from there and scored two goals from it. So that was really disappointing.
And so we go from one derby away from home to another one at home this week. What changes?
Look, we won't change much in terms of the way we play. It's just that we just need to be better at doing certain things. I think if we get the basics right and we keep playing to the same game plan like we did against Avondale, which worked, I just think that we, not that we went away from the game plan against Dandy, we just didn't execute well. So I think if we can execute well against Knights at home, we're always a chance. I said to the boys after the game, if we can't get up for Sunday against Knights, then we probably shouldn't be playing. And, I probably went a bit far in comparing it to a lot of the big derbies around the world, but it's all relative to us. This is our derby. So although we've got a lot of respect for Knights because we are the sister club with them, they're always a team we want to knock off. And the boys hopefully been training well, and hopefully this week we can get the points.
All right, hopefully it's a good Sunday afternoon.
Thank you, Berkey. And we'll see what comes of Sunday. But we're hoping for a big day. It's a big day for the club. So onwards and upwards.
That's Berkey, our very own Dinamo TV's Berkey with Adam Tenanini. Berkey does a fantastic job, so I just want to publicly really applaud him for what he does on match days behind the scenes as well. Now, last week was Croatian Statehood Day, and being a Croatian community-backed club, in this week's From the Vault, we're going to have a bit of a homage to the cultural background of this club. It's always been a club that has really been proud of its Croatian ancestry, its heritage, but also one that welcomes cultures of all people of all cultures to Churchill Reserve. And you could see by that clip there with Adam Tenanini and Ian Burke, two of our coaching staff members as well, who are not of Croatian background, but they are absolutely welcomed at Churchill Reserve. From the Vault, enjoy.
You know you're Croatian when?
When your mate with Skupa. When you're eating sarma for breakfast.
When the mother calls her daughter Sine.
Your parents use Zakia like the Greeks use Windex.
When you can smell Mama's cooking from down the street.
Baba makes sarma.
When your mum makes you wind up the window because there's too much proput.
When your baba makes the best juha.
Your dad's mile bulich.
When you grow up and you can say your Croatian words when you're frustrated. In your Croatian words when you're dancing Croatian, singing Croatian, going to Croatian school, grade 1 Croatian, grade 8 Croatian, that's all I know.
You've been underage drinking. Every time you're about to leave the house, it says pamet u glavu.
When you play for Dinamo.
You spend more time at Dinamo than you do at home.
You're a part of a Croatian soccer team or Dinamo.
Your parents say pametu glavu before you go out.
Your baba need to have rakia shot for breakfast.
For my breakfast, I go there every morning. I got 2 biscuits and 1 pressure tablets.
You can't go outside with wet hair.
My baka makes schnitzels. My baba makes pita.
Your parents will tell you Dachutia followed by the shifka.
No one can pronounce your name right.
Your baba puts vegeta in everything.
My baba makes the best ushtike.
You like your chivapis.
Your parents give you rakia before you're over 18.
Baba makes palachinka every day.
When I'm at Croatian dancing, when I'm at a Croatian club and a Croatian school.
My favorite in the morning, black coffee and 1 čašica rakije. I poslije, after imam have a toast and my tablets.
Your baba or baka gives you everything you want.
When you're sick and your mum makes you kamilito.
You play a shit game of soccer and you're scared to get in the car.
Where my baba makes the best schnitzel.
When I'm playing soccer and then I start yelling and going crazy and I'm like, wow.
There you go. I love the little tackle when he says, you know Croatian words, so when you get frustrated, and they usually are swear words, let me tell you that. All righty. When we return, folks, on the other day, on Tuesday, I was part of one of the other podcasts that I run, Oz Crow Soccer Show. We had Ivica Petrolic, a representative of the Gorspic Bears, who are part of the Dinamo football group. We'll hear a little bit of a snippet of that interview, but you can certainly go, if you want more, you can go on the Oz Crow Soccer Show Facebook page and also the YouTube channel. That's coming up after this short break. Obviously,
so Sunday's a big day at the
now
club.
Let's talk about Sunday, because the Gorspic Bears are the main event. Is that right? The Gorspic Bears are the main event for on Sunday.
Wouldn't say. I don't know about main event. We don't want to have that sort of pressure, but we are playing after the Dinamo Knights game.
Yeah.
Are they kicking off at 3:00?
They are kicking off at 3 p.m. So straight after that, on pitch 1 at Churchill Reserve, St Albans Gorspic Bears taking on Fitzroy Lions there. Men's Metropolitan League Division 2 Round 8. But prior to that, on the Friday night, your Masters team takes the field against Point Cook at Saltwater Reserve in Point Cook. And that game kicking off at 7:30 p.m. You've got two teams, obviously the senior team and the Masters team. Let's talk about the Masters first. How are they going? Who's some of the more famous, illustrious names in the Masters team?
Well, good question. Dario Mijigoda, that's our president. He takes control of the 35s. I'm also take control of the seniors. That's how we work.
Yep.
It works that way. That way. There were a couple of high-profile players last year. You had the Razov brothers. We've got Ante Kilic.
Oh, yeah.
We've got Anthony Shakic in goals for the 35s. Who else is in there? We've got Steve Chichak. He's a Geelong boy. He's playing in there. And a few others. There's been a lot of new players coming, which has been great. This year, we've seen an influx of new players come to the club, and that's been really good to see.
Just the Masters or the actual seniors team?
Both. So It's been very active. It's been very active. I've been active post-season, trying to introduce new players to the club. We need to grow the club that way. Some players have left, so I just put some recruitment out there, and we had 10 players come in, and from the 10, we had 5 stay, which is not a bad result.
You can see the ladders for the two teams at the moment, both occupying 7th position. The Metro League 2 Northwest competition on the left there, and then we've got the Men's Masters Western Division on the right there as well. Now, so tell us, look, with the Metropolitan League, for those that are outside of Melbourne or not familiar with the setup, I had a look today, and there's like 9 metropolitan leagues. Now,
that's correct.
Is that more or less just a social competition, or is it just for those players that don't want to take it seriously, or how much of it? How high is the standard? And that was a short excerpt of the interview with Ivica Petrlic from the Gorspic Bears. If you'd like to watch the full interview or the full replay of the full interview, go to the Oz Crow Soccer Show Facebook page or the Oz Crow Soccer Show YouTube channel, and you'll be able to get it all there without a shadow of a doubt. Alrighty, let's move on to the next thing. The volunteers of every club are very important. And here at Dinamo, we've got a real community of volunteers from the seniors down to the juniors, men's to the women's, and the social club side of things as well. And as we just saw, we've also got some of the clubs that are aligned with Dinamo as part of the Dinamo football group. Lucy Hrbolic has put together this little short video about volunteers at Dinamo. Thank you to Lucy for her contribution to this week's DinamoTV.
G'day here, Danny Yupusha here. Been part of the club forever and a day, volunteering over the last decade and a half, which has been fantastic. Been part of the committee at the moment with the tournament, and we're looking forward to a great one. But to help facilitate that, we will need a lot more volunteers like yourself. So hopefully you guys can get behind us and help us out to make this tournament a successful one for our whole community.
Hi, I'm Steve. I've been here since I was 12 years old at the club. I love supporting the club. I love helping out, volunteering, and yeah.
How you going? Rob Mickledge here. I'd love to see a lot more people volunteer their time if they can to help out the kids with just helping out with Dinamo at the club, and hoping to get more people to help us out with the tourney coming up shortly.
Volunteer for the club is fantastic for the children, and our community all stays together, and we all do our part to keep it all together.
Christian Dulwich here for the big 2024 Dinamo tournament, hosted here anywhere else, but we're in St Albans. We need volunteers like you, like myself, like Milch, and a whole bunch of others. Join now and welcome to the crew.
Volunteering is lots of fun. It makes you feel as if you're a part of a community, and bringing your friends along makes it one to remember. Yeah, so come sign up and be a part of such a great weekend.
Dinamo.
Why do I like volunteering my time at Dinamo? Because it gives back to our community, it's for our kids, and yeah, it's improvement around the place, and hopefully everyone gets to see it at the Crow tournament on Grand Final weekend this year.
G'day guys, Darren Cordial here. Volunteering is a big part of our club. We've got the Croatian tournament coming up soon and we'd love to see you as a volunteer. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Natalie Matrevsky.
Hi, I'm Anna Miach.
And I'm Lucy Habolik, and we are your volunteers.
We'd love for you to come and sign up
For this year's soccer tournament.
proudly hosted by Dinamo Soccer Club. So sign up and come and join the Blue Crew.
Westar Prestige is a family-owned second-generation business which is celebrating 50 years of operations this year. They're a specialist prestige collision repair facility situated in the western suburbs of Melbourne, Victoria. However, they service all regions in the state, with many of their clients travelling from far and wide to use their services. They're also able to provide a digital platform for quoting clients' vehicles who are unable to personally attend their premises. They're an authorised manufacturer-approved repair facilities for Mercedes-Benz, Tesla, Peugeot and Suzuki, and are proud of their ongoing affiliation with these brands. They also work closely with a number of Australia's largest insurance brands who entrust them to be part of their preferred repairer network. Their support staff are always happy to assist clients from the initial process of lodging claims through to the final stages of collection of the vehicle on completion of repairs and post-repair. So remember, for all your prestige collision repair needs, consider Westar Prestige, an award-winning, long-standing Australian-owned business.
Welcome back to DinamoTV, and it's an absolute pleasure to now introduce tonight's guest, and he'll be he's been at the helm of the senior men's team now for 4 weeks, and on Sunday he comes up against his old team, not as a player but as a coach, and it's a pleasure to welcome back to DinamoTV our senior men's head coach Cameron Watson. Cam, good evening. How are you, mate?
Good, Tunch. How are you?
Yeah, very good, very good. Now, when presidents and prime ministers get appointed, after 100 days, they usually do this address to the nation. How they found the first 100 days, and I guess CEOs do that, and what you're not. But you're a coach, and you've now been there for 4 weeks, and I guess in coaching terms, that's about 100 days, isn't it? How have you found the first month of the situation unfolding at Dinamo?
Yeah, I think it's been really good. In terms of club like functionality and support and the way, I guess, what the club wants to achieve, short term and long term, that's been really good to hear. And so yeah, definitely, me and Billy and I have loved every aspect of that. And and then with the team, they've been exceptional. To be totally honest, they've bought in straight away. They've been in obviously a difficult situation this season, but there's a lot of quality there, and now there's a lot of big games coming up, and get to play, I guess, the teams that are around us and close to us. So really need to maximize the next 4 to 6 weeks and put ourselves in a better position and come into the season.
Yeah, and I guess, look, the punters all agree that certainly the boys are playing a lot better than we were maybe a month ago. But just the results just don't seem to be happening. And I guess one of the big things has been some of the simple schoolboy errors that are being made, particularly across the defence. Is that something that that you and Billy have addressed in recent weeks? Just getting back to basics, I suppose.
Yeah, look, it's nice. I guess it is. It's nice to look. It's nice to hear that that people are enjoying watching, and that's essentially what you want to do. But ultimately, you want to be winning.
Yeah.
And that's our goal, is to win, and that's everyone's goal, is to win. Everyone's got a different way of doing it. And yeah, look, you knocked it on the head. It's over obviously 4 league games and 5 and a cup game, I don't think there's been an instant where we've been kind of pulled apart and you'd say, okay, wow, like, yeah, teams have scored and goals are scored on the back of people's mistakes. And as you said, there's been a few kind of schoolboy errors, and that just really comes down from ultimately comes down from a lack of just concentration and just kind of being in the moment and being in the game. And again, it doesn't matter what level you play at, that's how a lot of goals are scored. So yeah, we're trying to nullify that, and we've got a big opportunity because we've got a lot of games at home in this second half of the season, and we really need to be hell bent on whether it obviously keeping clean sheets, but kind of eliminating 2, 3, 4 goals against us, and that'll definitely help us because we're starting to create quite a few opportunities. And yeah, so it's just, we'll keep addressing. It's, I don't put down to lack of, effort, attention, positivity. That's all been great from everyone. So it's just little moments in games that are kind of having big consequences. So it's just a matter of keep trying to eliminate that and keeping the group positive, because again, Billy and I have been here for 4 to 5 weeks. They've been doing it for, 3 to 4 months, 4 to 5 months. So,
yep.
But ultimately, yeah, we'll just keep pushing forward and keep moving in the direction we want to go.
Yeah, and it must be frustrating for yourself, as it is, I guess, for the punters, for the members to see, better play, but the results don't seem to be coming forward. But one of the pleasing aspects is the other end of the field at the in attack is, apart from obviously a game against Dandenong City on the weekend, but prior to that, the team had scored 5 goals out of 3 games. And that's including against South Melbourne and Avondale, the 2 top teams. So we're starting to find that confidence in attack, which is something that's really kind of let us down all season. That must be a pleasing aspect for you.
Yeah, and again, you were right in the sense that against Dandenong City, it was probably the game where we created the least chances since coming in, and it's again, not concerning because I know that in the previous games they've done quite well and we've created a lot. So I think even the feedback from the boys has been really positive in that sense, because they've realised that they're creating more and they've had chances to beat some of these top teams. And I think they're they're coming to realise that they can compete, and they can, given the right kind of opportunities, they can score. So yeah, we'll put probably Dandenong City in the archives in terms of chances created, and then obviously look forward to a big one this weekend against Melbourne Knights.
Yeah, let's switch off that vision so we don't need to see it. As you said, putting it in the archives, turning our attention to this weekend's game. Huge one. It's going to be a massive, massive one. Of course, the big Croatian derby this Sunday at Churchill Reserve. Long weekend, so hopefully we'll have an opportunity to celebrate. Win, lose or draw after the game, but most likely we want it to be a win. 3 p.m, nice early kickoff, and the under-23s kick off at 12:30. And just a note there that the Croatian folkloric group Hrvatska Zora, Croatian Dawn, will be performing in the club rooms from 2:30. But we want the senior players to be performing their own victory dance in the dressing rooms afterwards. Mate, it's a must-win game. Derby games, the form book goes out the window, as we always know. But this one's got a lot more riding for it, because let's face it, we're on the bottom. We need to win, but so do the Knights. If they want to keep in touch with the top 6, this is a must-win game for them as well.
Yeah, it is. They're in I guess probably compared to last season, an unusual spot because they had a great season last year. But yeah, as you said, it's for us. Obviously, everyone knows it's a big game for us, and I guess that's what we're fixated on, and they're a good team. They've got a lot of quality in their team, we kind of just have to maximise our home ground with our support, and believe that we can get out of this position. I think that belief's there, which is good, and at the same time, kind of nullify what they've kind of got. We're obviously working on that at training, and then try and implement that on the weekend, but. Yeah, there's no doubt they've got a lot of quality, and definitely a team I think that can still
push for the 6. But at the same time, they can't be complacent because they could easily slip away as well. And a couple of weeks in the NPL, their position can change quite rapidly. So they'll be definitely considering, obviously, local derby, Croatian derby. They won't need any motivation like our boys to get up for it, and obviously try and maximise points.
Yeah, last week they drew away to Avondale, and we know how tough that of a fixture is at Avenger Park, but it was 1-1. And I had the chance to speak to Ivan Franjic on one of the other podcasts that I do, the Ozcro Soccer Show. And he's just recently taken over there, and he's quite intent on stamping his authority. And he's a club legend of not just Melbourne Knights, but also St Albans Dinamo as well. Do you know much about Ivan's tactics, and do you know where across the board will they most be dangerous?
From a coaching point of view, I don't know much about what he's trying to do. I obviously played with Ivan a long time ago and played against him quite a bit through the years. So obviously great career, and he's had the luxury of come across a lot of experienced coaches. So I'm sure he's kind of picked and pulled whatever he thinks is great and what can work. So and I guess he's new in the job like myself, obviously with the current team. So I don't know. I think they're obviously quite dangerous going forward with the quality that they've got up front. So, with the players that they've brought in, and they were obviously quite strong in particular areas last year. But for whatever reason, it hasn't kind of flowed the same this year. But there's still a lot of signs that they can really punish teams, and I've watched them against Avondale, and they were really good. And then they got the man sent off. So it's as I said, I think the way they've played the ladder doesn't kind of represent that. So we need to be really on our toes and really prepared for Sunday, because I know they will be. And again, as you said, they're pushing for that top 6. But yeah, I think everyone quite knows how I guess the players that they have in attack, which is a lot of quality. And you've got obviously Ivan at the back, and obviously patrolling his troops as player and coach. So there's a lot of experience. There's a lot of firepower, but it's something that we'll relish and we'll challenge kind of head on come Sunday.
Yeah, and I guess one of the things about the team there is they seem to sort of spread their goals around as well. Kieran Bramwell scoring last week for the Knights, but he scored 8 goals this season. I think he's the main goal scorer. But they do seem to sort of mix their goal scorers around, as do we, I suppose. Does that make it easier, tougher to kind of play against a side that sort of doesn't really have a main focal striker? Although once again, we could argue Bramwell would be that.
No, I don't think so. It's obviously good for the team that's kind of sharing the goals, but I don't think it wouldn't change anything from our point of view. I don't think any teams would change. The more people that are capable of scoring, you've got to be. I wouldn't say even be more aware. You just know the goals can come from kind of all over the pitch. So, but whether it's him scoring or someone else, they're kind of the way they're playing or the way any other team will play will be the same. It's just kind of who's getting on the end of it may differ from time to time, but yeah, it's not going to change anything in what we do and how we kind of approach any game. So
yeah. And speaking of approaching the game, I guess as we know, it's going to be a massive crowd. We're hoping it's going to be a huge crowd. The earlier kickoff, the holiday the next day. The boys obviously will be expecting a big crowd at home. Are they looking forward to that occasion, or is there a little bit of nervousness starting to creep in, performing in front of your own crowd?
No, they're all good. I think they're just ready to go. They just know what's at stake, and they know there's only 10 games left, and we've got a big chunk of them at home. So it's just another. It's worth 3 points. It's not worth any more.
Yeah.
So it's they're approaching it just like any other week, and so are we. There's no overriding message that's going to be different. It's going to be the same, and the goal is just to get maximum points and then just keep pushing on. And we've got a big week ahead. So, yeah.
Yeah, it should be an absolutely fantastic occasion, that's for sure. We can't wait for Sunday. It's going to be a big crowd, a huge crowd. And hopefully the weather is going to be lovely. I haven't seen the weather forecast, but I'm sure it's going to be quite a nice day. Okay, mate. We wish you all the very best for Sunday, and thank you for joining us on Dinamo TV.
Nah, thanks, Tunch. Appreciate it. I'll see you then.
Good on you.
See you, mate. Bye-bye.
And that was Cameron Watson, the senior men's head coach at St. Albans Dinamo. We had to pre-record that earlier today, and he had to rush off for a very, very urgent meeting. But as we speak, the boys are on the training track tonight, and it is going to be a big, big game this weekend, a huge game, as we said. And it is going to be, although the players and the coaches, of course, will want to play it down, we're expecting a massive, massive crowd. Remember, the under-23s kick off at 12:30. The seniors kick off at 3. We've got the Croatian folkloric group Zorda in the club rooms from 2:30 onwards, and it is going to be a massive, massive occasion. All right, before we take a quick break, it is time. With this, as we said earlier in the program, we are going to be doing something a little bit different these days from this week on regarding our player of the week. We've already announced our senior women's player of the week, and it's time now to announce who our senior men's NPL player of the week from last week was. And the winner was Joseph Cholina. Congratulations to Joseph. He has won this now a couple of times this year. Well done to Joseph. And the last time we announced Joseph as the winner of the player of the week, the following week he went on to score a goal. So let's hope that is the case again coming up next week as well. All right, folks, stay tuned. We're going to have a little bit of a commercial break. When we return, it'll be time to wrap up tonight's Dinamo TV. There we go, and that was Dinamo TV for another week. As we said, a huge week coming up this weekend. Massive weekend for football, starting tomorrow night when the senior women's take on Westgate. Saturday and Sunday, there's going to be games at Churchill Reserve with the junior boys NPL and obviously the juniors as well. And then on top of that, we've got the big one on Sunday, the big Croatian derby. We've got Hrvatska Zora performing. Grupa Accord would be playing live in the club rooms as well. There's going to be a Sarma night tomorrow night as well. Don't forget that as well. Whilst the girls are just before the girls' game kicks off at 8 p.m. There's a lot going on at Churchill Reserve. Until next week from me and the team behind the scenes at Dinamo TV, good night and thank you once again for being a part of our show tonight. Bye-bye.